A Very Special Delivery, Part 1. Once upon a time, a long, very long and lengthy time ago, pre-lockdown, there was a young lady called Mary who was engaged to a lovely young gentleman called Joseph, with a silent J. They were very fond of each other and were desperate for a child, but bizarrely had never thought of actually having sex. Anyway, one evening, feeling a bit tipsy and generally fanning around, trimming a bush in the front garden, Mary saw a very bright light in the sky. She first thought it was the helicopter police again trying to catch those thieving bastards in Ely, but when she looked closer, there seemed to be a gender-fluid person hanging in the air. Mary then presumed someone from the Conservative Club on Cowbridge Road had got totally trashed and then got caught up in a rotary. But no. "Hello, I'm Gabriel and I've got a message for you. You're up the duff, love," they said casually, and then shot off down Canton and took a left by the sex shop. "Heavens above, that's a bit strange," said Mary, looking up in dismay. "What'll Joseph think when he gets back from Aldi?" "You what?" said Joseph, as he put down his newly bought bits and bobs from the middle aisle, including a windscreen scraper, 48 pansies and a bobble hat. "Are you telling me somebody just casually popped over the fence and artificially inseminated you right on the front lawn?" he shouted as he folded his bags for life and then put them back in the drawer. "Oh, Joseph," said Mary, "stop moaning, you miserable git, and get yourself off to B&Q. We're going to need to get that back room ready for this little one." "This is going to ruin my Christmas," he mumbled as he grabbed his car keys. "What colour paint am I supposed to get, eh? Are you immaculately having a boy or a girl?" "How am I supposed to know?" Mary said as she reached for her cigarettes. "Go for Halo Yellow just to be safe." She looked at the cigarette packet and regrettably threw them in the bin. "Jesus Christ," she said in total despair. She then froze and thought, "Now that's a nice name." To be continued. A Very Special Delivery, Part 2. It was Sunday afternoon, Christmas Eve, and the heavily pregnant and apparently Virgin Mary was sick to the back teeth of sitting with her feet up listening to Radio 2. She'd already suffered Michael Ball for 2 whole hours, and as soon as Elaine Page started chuckling at another one of her own jokes, like a constipated dwarf with a head cold, she decided to pop into town. Not Elaine, obviously. Sadly, no. She was still in the studio, much to the annoyance of the whole nation and any other radio presenter listening. "Oh, Joseph," said Mary, "I'm going to pop into town for a last bit of Christmas shopping. Do you fancy?" "Yes," he said, shutting down Pornhub and putting his laptop away. "And now we know you're going to be having a boy, we can pop into John Lewis and get a few extra bits and bobs for the yet again decorated blue bedroom." "Good idea, and thanks again for redecorating it blue. It looks lush," said Mary, as she waddled down the path and got into the car. They drove towards town through the thick fog, and as soon as they passed the bottom of Cathedral Road and onto Castle Street, they realised they couldn't go any further due to the pigging alfresco dining area, so they sneaked into the Holiday Inn car park on the bridge, popped in for Mary to have a pee so they looked like they were patrons, then sneaked out while the receptionist was taking a cheeky sniff of poppers behind his computer, and walked into St. Mary Street. They saw the castle all decked with Christmas trimmings. It looked absolutely beautiful, apart from the crappy Christmas tree that the council had provided yet again. "We'd better get a move on or John Lewis will be shut," said Mary as she waddled as full as an egg. They turned off the high street and were making their way through the haze when suddenly Mary started to get a bit weary. Joseph took her by the arm and managed to get her as far as the Welsh church, where they were packing up their annual nativity for the night. "Oh, I'm going to have to stop a minute, this baby's kicking," said Mary.
"Oh, for God's sakes, woman,"
said Joseph.
"John Lewis will be closing."
Who was overhearing their conversation, dismantling his nativity stable? Only the donkey handler, dressed in a shepherd's outfit. "Oh, you poor thing," he said, pulling the donkey towards them by the reins. "Hop on, Chuck. I'll give you a lift, love. I'm going that way anyway."
"Oh, thank you, donkey man,"
said Joseph as he helped Mary up into the saddle. "How did you know I'm called Donkey Man?" said the donkey man. "Ah, you must recognise me from Grinder." As they carried towards John Lewis, chatting politely, there was suddenly the sound of an enormous fart.
"Oh my God,"
said Joseph.
"that stinks."
Donkey Man smiled to himself and said, "That's why we called him Honky, mate."
"Honky the donkey, very suitable,"
said Joseph, gagging by the stench. "It was actually me," said Mary. "I don't feel very good." "We don't smell very good either, girl," said Donkey Man, "but we're nearly there." As they approached the front of John Lewis, Honky the donkey suddenly stops, and all everybody could hear was the donkey urinating in the middle of the road.
"You dirty bugger,"
said Joseph. "It's not the donkey, it's my water," said Mary. "They've broken," and she started screaming. "Ah!"
"Oh Lord, he's coming," said Joseph.
"Heavens above," said Donkey Man. "She can't give birth outside here in this weather. Let's take her to the Marriott." They trot into the reception of the Marriott, where some scantily dressed receptionist who's popping a pill plonks a sign on the desk saying "No vacancies." Mary screams at the top of her voice. "Oh, gee, she's having contractions," said the donkey man as he steered the donkey into a 3-point turn and started trotting out. Joseph shouted,
"Oh, donkey man, where do you think you're taking my wife?"
"I'm taking up the Radisson," he said. "Lucky her," said the receptionist under her breath. "Oh!" shouted Mary as her contractions became unbearable. Joseph catches up with them as they arrive at the Radisson reception, where the same thing happens again. As they get to the front desk, another bitter and twisted receptionist, snorting something off the front desk this time, plonks a sign down saying "No vacancies." "Oh Lordy," said the donkey man, "what are we going to do?" "Well, don't look at me," said the receptionist. "Fancy having a baby at Christmas. Jesus." He reverses Honky out of the Radisson and looks around in the foggy night to try and think of somewhere suitable for Mary to give birth, somewhere warm, somewhere welcoming, somewhere wonderful. All of a sudden, they see a light in the distance, a twinkling star. "Quick, follow that star," says Donkeyman, and they all cross the road over towards the twinkling lights that were part of the outdoor Christmas decorations on a lovely old building. "Ah!" Mary screams again. "Come on, you lot," said Donkeyman, pulling Honky towards the door. "We safe now. She's going to give birth to this Christmas baby at the Golden Cross." To be continued. A very special delivery, part 3. Honky, Donkeyman, Joseph, and a fit-to-burst Mary are at the door of the Golden Cross, waiting for someone to let them in. They can hear Kylie's Let It Snow playing loudly to much merriment. Donkeyman knocks again, harder this time, and the door is opened by a 7'6" drag queen pointing her thermometer at them. "Merry Christmas, everyone. Welcome to the Golden Cross. I'm your hostess. Do you want to bum me?" "Well, I wouldn't mind, Chuck," said the Donkeyman, "but it's neither the time or the place, is it, love? We need your help. Can we come in?" As they enter the heaving bar, Joanna gestures to the DJ and Kylie is cut off in her prime.
"Mary's about to give birth to a baby boy,"
said Joseph, helping her down from the saddle. "Ha! said the DJ. Mary Gold may be talented, but she ain't that clever. Honky, Donkey Man, Joseph, and poor Mary make their way through the crowd to the staged area, which was the only vacant place for her to give birth. The Virgin Mary lay on the stage as everyone gathered round. She started moaning and panting.
Come on, you can do it, said Joseph. Push, push.
The crowd started chanting, Mary, Mary, Mary. Then, all of a sudden, the door at the top of the stairs in the back bar opens and a huge beam of light shines down on everyone. Through the light, we see a little figure dressed in white with large wings and an enormous halo.
Who's this? Said Joseph. I see a little silhouette of a man. Who is this descending upon us from above?
It's me, it's Mary Gold, dear, she said. Look at me, all immaculate, as I bring you towels. She gestured, clicking her fingers to the bar staff, and kettles were boiled and buckets were filled in a flash. You're called Mary too, said the Virgin Mary flat on her back to the not-so-Virgin Mary Gold as she descended the stairs. What a coincidence. We're all Marys here, dear, said Mary Gold as she necked a shot and picked up the microphone. Now, is there a doctor in the house? Don't worry, doll, I'm here, said Dr. Bev, scurrying to the front of the stage as usual with a book of raffle tickets in the one hand and rubber gloves in the other. Now stand back. What a scene, said Dr. Bev. A man dressed as a shepherd, a donkey, Mary and Joseph, the angel Mary of Gold. All we need now are 3 wise men. Well, you'll not find one in here, dear, said Mary Gold, necking another shot, nor any frankincense or myrrh either. However, we always have the gold. The crowd all clinked their glasses and cheered, to the gold. Now get on with it, Bev. We haven't got all day, dear. I've got the sprouts to prepare and I've got to stuff that big bird in the oven, said Mary Gold. That'll be a tight squeeze, said Joanna as she came through to the bar with hand gel and wipes for everyone. The Virgin Mary started huffing and puffing and screaming the house down. Push! Shouted the crowd. Push! Push! Then the whole of the Golden Cross went deadly quiet. In the background, there were carol singers outside, singing Silent Night. Oh, this is history repeating, said Donkey Man. No, it's not, you silly bugger, said Mary Gold. It's Silent Night. All eyes were on Mary. Mary Gold, of course, who necked another shot. Right then, lady, let's get this show on the road. Now one last push for all it's worth. With one final almighty push, we hear blood-curdling, horrendous screaming coming from the stage. Don't worry, folks, said Joanna. Mary Gold always sings like this. Shut your face, she said. It's happening. I can see the head. Oh, my Lord. It's a miracle. Mary Gold filled up with tears. Not enough to ruin her makeup, of course, but filled up nonetheless. And then we hear the immortal words as a baby is raised in the air in a Brains beer tea towel. It's a girl.
What? Said Joseph. I'm going to have to bloody redecorate again.
Oh, what you going to call her, said Bev, hoping to hear the name Bev, of course. The newly Mother Mary lifted her weary head and then said, well, under the circumstances, I think we'll call her. There was a very long pause. I think we'll call her Kylie. What more could we wish for, said Joanna. Kylie at Christmas. Oh, she should be so lucky, 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 said Marigold as she necked another shot. Now get off that bloody stage, woman, and mop up your mess. I've got a show to do. Honky, the donkey man, Joseph, and Mary, clutching little Kylie, then made their way through the crowd as everyone waved them goodbye. Hit it, said Marigold to the DJ, as Kylie's Golden played loudly all over the Golden Cross, as the crowd line danced and raised a glass to the baby Kylie who came and crowned their Christmas. Nadolig llawen, everyone. A very Merry Christmas to you all.